Good day. It's actually morning time right now, and my name is Dr. David Montague, and I'm an associate professor of criminal justice here at UALR. And I also happen to be fortunate enough to be the instructor for the Inside Out Prison Exchange Program course taught at the Wrightsville Prison Unit. With me in this video, which is an orientation video, I am pleased to have, in no particular order, but from right to left, I have Miss Mary Babineau. Mary, what did you want to say your connection to this video is?
I'm an alum of the Inside Out program, and I think you are about to embark on the journey of a lifetime. It will affect you every day of your life. I hope you embrace and enjoy the program as much as I did.
And I'm also pleased to have on my left Miss LaShawn Gordon. LaShawn, what do you want to say?
I am also an alum, and I really enjoyed the class. It changed my life and changed my mind on what I view an inmate as. Wonderful experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you may be picking up right now, this is an unusual type of course. I've already talked to you, most likely. If you're watching this video, we're going to embed it in Blackboard. And the reason for doing so is to try to avoid using, or I say wasting, one night of class. This course only meets at the prison. It's only once a week. And we want to maximize the number of visits that you all are able to have. What typically happens is that this course is so exciting to so many people that by the time the semester comes down to a close, students in the course are usually very upset that they don't have more opportunities to come to class sessions, as strange as that might sound. So let me explain a little bit more. I know I've said some things on the phone, but let me clarify, and this is the way we would do it if you were here face to face. Inside Out is an international program, and it's based out of the International Inside Out Center at Temple University, and it's run by Lori Pompa, who's the director. Everyone who teaches this course, as I mentioned, is a certified instructor. And unfortunately, we only have 2 certified instructors right now in the state of Arkansas. We'd like to change that. So there's Dr. Chastain and myself. And that means that we had to complete a 1-week-long training program at the prison. In our case, it was in Graterford Maximum Security Prison in Philadelphia. And go through very intense sessions on the format of the course, how the course works. We actually learn how to teach this course by going through a training that's structured in the Inside Out manner. So lifers at the Graterford Prison were really my instructors to learn how to teach this course. This course is not about Scared Straight. It's not about going into the prison to mentor people. It's about bringing students from the outside, meaning you all, outside students, and students from the inside together, and everyone's an equal. Everyone is a student in the course. That's really important to remember because, as you might imagine, anytime you take any course, there's always going to be some unusual thing or some usual things that you're going to deal with. You know, what type of setting is it going to be? Am I going to like the instructor for the course? Am I going to get along with my classmates? You know, are we going to learn something? Can I afford to buy the books? All these different types of things. The good thing is you have no books to buy. I supply everything that you need. And we are fortunate to have the support of UALR to support this course. And sometimes not even having enough students to what we call make a regular course, meaning enough students to financially justify the university being involved. But we do it anyway because we really support this program. As I mentioned, everyone in Inside Out is an equal. Everyone is just a student. And what you'll find is that after the first session or 2 of class, you really do kind of forget whether someone is an inside student or an outside student. And other than the fact that all the insiders are wearing all white in terms of clothing, you might not really be able to know from just talking to them who is whom. So That's part of the beauty of it. The other thing that needs to be stressed is that in other parts of the world where this course is taught, in U.S. and Canada, this course is not always a criminal justice course. Even though it's called the Inside Out Prison Exchange Program, there are people teaching philosophy courses with this format. There are people that are teaching math courses, science courses, just about anything you can imagine using this particular format. And again, it breaks down stereotypes about being on the inside and being on the outside. So in our case, it actually is a criminal justice course because the Criminal Justice Department's offering it. And so we're excited that you are going to be involved in the course this semester. Now, a little bit about how we actually run the different sessions, and then I'll ask Ms. Gordon to make some comments, and then we'll start talking about some of the other rules and regulations that are really important because we are inside a prison facility, and I'll ask Ms. Babineau to explain some of those things. You might see a circle behind me on the board here, and quite simply put, that is the format. Everything is connected. Everything has purpose. We realize that through a course like this, you gain experiential learning. It's far beyond just what you would get in a book. I learn something from this course every time myself. I learn about me, I learn about others. It's probably other than crime and behavior, it's probably the most fun that I've ever had teaching a class. And I love to see the light bulb of learning go off in people, and it's life-changing. Some people have changed their career decisions based on this course. Others have used it as a way to heal themselves and to reach out to others and how to rethink about how they deal with other people. So again, I cannot say enough positive about the course, and I will say I try to make it as fun as possible. It's very interactive. It's not a lecture type course. The circle that you see is the seating format for the course. So everybody is sitting around the room in a big circle. And that's how we start the class, that's how we end the class. And when we sit, everyone is seated outsider, insider, outsider, insider, in that order around the room. And again, everyone is just a student in the class. We do have certain rules that we follow in terms of class discussion, things like that. We want to encourage people to talk and share, but you will see that in a course like this, everyone really does try to respect everyone else's opinion, their presence. We have a thing that we call an object called the brain that we put in the middle of the circle, and someone, whoever wants to, who feels motivated, can come out, pick the brain up, and start things off, give some reflections about something that's going on that's really on their mind. And when we end the class each time, we do the same thing. We put the brain on the ground and let whoever wants to come up and say something, say something. In terms of the material that we have each week, I will provide different topics. I usually bring copies of news articles of things that are connected to how we're moving along in the course. And the course really is designed to teach about the criminal justice system in this case, but to have discussion about that system from the different perspectives and just let people kind of think and expand. This is not a typical course, as I said. So if I give everyone in the big circle a copy of an article, I'll break everyone into small groups. And then there'll be a bunch of smaller circles. And then I'll give everyone time to talk, share, and no one's in charge. Everyone just discusses. Then we'll have a certain period of time in which they can do that, and then we'll get back into the big circle again, and then we'll let whomever the groups decide to be their spokesperson to get up and say something about what their group discussed on that particular topic. And usually the discussion is very enlightening. But I do try to pick things that are timely, that are topical, that are hot topics, and also things that connect to, of course, a deeper, larger kind of set of lessons that I'm trying to convey to the class in terms of curriculum. So everything does have a purpose, as I said before. We have done some exciting activities, like for instance, I have this booklet here, and this booklet is a document that the students put together last year, and it was a poetry slam. And of course, not everyone felt like they were comfortable doing that type of thing. But everyone just kind of wrote something up, and then we went around and everyone just read their poem. And it could be about the course, it could be about a personal experience, it could be about someone you know that touched you personally, whatever it might be, just your feelings about the world. And it was one of those types of activities where there are a lot of people in the class were in tears, because it really was a way for people to kind of realize that they really have more in common than not. So at the end of the course, I have a end of semester celebration, and these two people sitting next to me played rather large part in making that happen, actually. And so we actually had donations from outside the prison that were sent in, and we got permission to bring in, basically, I don't want to use the word party on video, but it was a celebration with lots of food. Okay? You know, and so we were very excited about that, and everyone gets a certificate. So the only other thing I'll say before I turn it, or I guess you could talk about the first name only part of it too. I'll turn it over to LaShawn Gordon to kind of talk about, well, please mention about first name only, and then just whatever.
Okay, when you first get to class, the very first day, we're going to have a name tag. And on that name tag, it's going to have your first name and your first name only. And that's how you will be identified by everyone inside of the classroom. No one will know your last name, so you don't have to worry about someone that you may know in there who may absolutely know your first and last name. That's not going to be a problem. All we'll know is your first name. We gather around, like he said, in a circle. Everyone sits insider to outsider. At first, I was kind of nervous the very first day because I did not know who was going to be sitting next to me and what they were convicted of. So I was kind of shaky in that area. But after the very first day of class, I was so comfortable. I didn't mind telling them who I was because I felt like, you know, that they're okay. But that's something that you don't do. You don't do that. That is one of the rules, and that's one of the things that we are like strict about. Only your first name, and that's all that they need to know.
Can you also, you know what, I'll mention about the homework, because there's no books, no
No,
quizzes.
there's absolutely no books. There's no quizzes. We'll have topics that we'll discuss, and at the end of the day, you'll have 3 days to do a reflection paper. And in that reflection paper, all you'll write about is how you feel about that particular topic. You just write about it, and you bring that paper with you the next day, and you'll turn it in. Or absolutely, the outsiders, we emailed Dr. Montague our reflection papers. The insiders actually turned in paper reflection papers. And that was one of the things that once you read one of their reflections, you will absolutely think, is this like a college UALR student, or is this really an inmate? You really won't be able to tell. You will not be able to tell.
The one thing that I'll add, though, is the reflection papers, the other students in the class don't have access to the reflection papers. I treat them just like any other homework assignment that any student would do in a regular class. It's confidential. So I consider that sort of like a FERPA type of thing. That's for your protection, because that would have your first and last name on there, first of all. And secondly, it's your personal thing. I haven't told you I'm going to share it with everybody, and so that would not be appropriate. Now, I do make some comments sometimes about some things that some people wrote, but I never would identify anybody, would never single anybody out. Everything is designed to be as positive as possible. What I'd like to do at this point, I'll come back to you, Ms. Gordon. I asked Mary Babineau if she would talk about some of the other rules and regulations that are there, and dress code and things like that.
When it comes to dress code, most of you have probably already been on prison tours conducted by Dr. Mary Parker. Take note of how Dr. Parker dresses when she's on these tours. Most of the dress code is common sense. You're not going to be allowed to wear hats, sunglasses, open-toed shoes, Shorts are a no-no. And really, low-cut blouses, skin-tight jeans, think about those. Appear every day, each session with your ID, dressed according to the dress code, a pen, a paper. Be prepared to be frisked each and every session. You will really enjoy this.
Yeah, so going in and out in terms of security is normally not a problem. I collect information from everybody who wants to be in the class. I explain the course to them. You're watching this orientation video. I believe you're also going to have a chance to meet with the staff, the security staff, and you can ask them any questions about security or anything like that face to face. I'm going to let you know, we have had some outsiders and insiders try to get to know each other better than they were allowed to. We've had some outsiders try to communicate with some insiders in violation of Department of Corrections rules. Those are things that we have ways of dealing with, and I treat that as a very serious violation of the Inside Out format. This is, like I said, an international program, and I don't want to see a bad choice by someone who just happens to feel a certain way potentially endanger whether or not we can continue doing this course down the road. I will also say, in the years that this course has been offered through UALR at Wrightsville, we've never had a security issue where there's been any danger to one of the students. So that's something, as Ms. Gordon was alluding to, it really is not. It's really more up here. It's in your mind, and just something that you just have to get comfortable with, and that usually happens pretty quickly. But just so you'll know, we have never had any type of incident happen, and that's a good thing, and we do take security precautions every time. We do have an officer in the room, in the classroom with us. We meet in the visitation room, which is a very large common area. Wrightsville is a minimum security unit. The people that are selected for this course are selected through the behavioral health unit of the Department of Correction, and I do work with that person to be able to help facilitate that, if we're talking about the inside students. For the outside students, the recruitment's a little bit different. It's actually more challenging to get the outside students for the course than it is the inside students, because on the outside, if a student doesn't like something, they can just drop the class and we just move on. In a course like this, we really need equal number of insiders and outsiders to really make it work with that circle that I was pointing to, because we want there to be a break, insider, outsider around the room. So if we have a lot of people drop out of the class, it really does skew things, and it messes up the energy that we have, or correctly, it would be synergy that we have in the room. And we don't want that, but once people finish that first night, they usually are hooked. I mean, they usually are so intrigued, and like I said, by the time the semester's over, people don't want the course to end. And I've actually I had some people ask if they can retake the class again, even for no credit, just to be able to go through the experience again. It's that life-changing a course. For those of you that may be curious about what else is going on with this course outside of just this semester, there is I mentioned it's an international program, but people that teach this course meet once a year at where the American Society of Criminology meets, and we have a series of panel sessions, and that's where we actually, as instructors and as students, former students, alum, I like the way they call themselves that, we'll get together. And the last time, I just went to the session in Chicago recently, and there were 2 alum that made presentations. We've actually had UALR Inside Out alum go to Seattle in the past and talk about their experience. And that's how we learn globally about how this course works. We learn how to do all types of community engagement with people who were on the inside and are coming out and want to be a part of the community and doing different, all kinds of really great things happening all over the place with respect to what this course does for people. So I'm trying to think if I've missed anything else. Can you think of anything?
I'd like to talk just for a moment, if you're allowed to have a celebration, if the prison administration will approve that. Donations, donations, donations. Starbucks, Kroger, Subway, Little Caesars, Sodexo here on campus. Don't be afraid to approach anyone, and I think you will be shocked to find how supportive they are. We had a fabulous celebration at the end of last year, and the only out-of-pocket expense that was made was actually by someone that donated less than $40. We had pizza, cake, chicken wings, soft drinks.
Tacos.
Donations, donations, donations. Don't be afraid to approach vendors for those.
And I'm going to speak about the donations. I went to my boss. I'm an employee of Starbucks. And I went to my boss and I explained the course and what I was going through and what we were getting ready to have. And when my boss found out what Inside Out was about, excuse me, he gave me a big, huge bag and told me to fill it up. Fill it up with whatever you need to fill it up with, and you take that and you guys have a good time. And periodically he asked me, well, how is it going? You know, how's Inside Out going? And he loves talking about it.
So we have a lot of fun in the class. I will say that, you know, because it is such a close-knit group, and there's some people that drive from Hot Springs for this class at Wrightsville. And yes, that's a long drive, but it's once a week, and by the time they leave, they're excited, you know. We've dealt with some very hard topics, too. We've dealt with, you know, because people on the inside live in barracks at Wrightsville, and they deal with the same realities that we deal with on the outside: health issues, death issues, family issues. And it's really amazing sometimes how I can walk in with material ready, and then I realize there's a need to really allow the class to talk about some things. And that's healthy, that's good, you know, and that's what's needed. And so be prepared for that too, you know. Like I said, no one's looking for you to go in there and just change how you feel about the world. No one's asking you to do that. We're asking you just to be honest with yourself. That's what we're asking. And to come in there with an open mind and be ready to receive what's offered to you. Because no matter what you think you know already, there's always something new to get out of this. So it's a very unusual class. You will be getting communication from me. Miss Gordon is going to be the teaching assistant this semester. So if you get a email from her, treat it like an email from me or a call from me. And so we want to make sure that we have everyone where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. And again, since there's no books, no tests, no research paper, I'm known for my research papers, I know that, but you don't have one in this class. I'm really more the moderator, facilitator in this case, in this class. There's really, the only thing I'm very serious about is making sure that if you take this class, and I want you in this class, that you come to all the class sessions. Because if you don't, you miss out on things, and quite frankly, we miss you. You know, we miss having you in there, and we miss what you're able to share with us. And that's not to sound like I'm Mr. Sensitive or anything. That's just me saying everyone has something valuable to share of themselves. And so this is a class where you really do have that opportunity, whether you're used to that type of opportunity or not, is not really relevant. You have it now. And so I hope that you'll take advantage of it. And with that, I'll be talking to you soon, and thank you for watching.
Embrace it. Enjoy. Good luck.